Oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, my good friend, Adrienne Airhart.
Hi.
Hi, Adrienne.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Adrienne and I, we go way, way back. Adrienne, we met. I feel it was like the first year that I was in LA. You moved here pretty close after I did. Mm-hmm. We both worked at Flappers for a hot second.
Yeah.
And we've sort of been in each other's comedy orbits ever since.
Yep.
And you brought this movie to me. I've been wanting to get you on, and I always love hearing what people bring to me as their movies. And you've brought something very special, because not only is this widely regarded as one of the actual worst movies of all time, but I had no idea until you told me, of course, that you were in this movie, and that's From Justin to Kelly. I'm sorry.
It was an interesting set.
Okay, so some background. Adrienne, and aside from being a wonderful comic and writer, you also are an accomplished dancer.
I was, yeah.
And I would imagine that that's part of how you got pulled into this whole world From Justin to Kelly.
Yeah, it was my agent.
Okay, and they were like, yeah, "Listen, we got the hot new musical that's going to be filming right here in Florida." If some of you, for whatever reason, forgot about From Justin to Kelly, it is a 2003 American musical romantic comedy film starring American Idol first season winner Kelly Clarkson and runner-up Justin Guarini during spring break in Fort Lauderdale. And it's a musical, which I didn't know watching it until they started singing songs. Mm-hmm. And I just want to hear, before we really dive into the movie, I want to hear what your experience was like working on From Justin to Kelly.
Well, there was a lot. First of all, they filmed in Miami, so which is way different than Fort Lauderdale. And I think what triggered it when I suggested From Justin to Kelly is all the assholes traveling to Florida for spring break, even though COVID is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, what is the most triggering spring break feeling memory I have? Oh, yeah, filming that movie near the beach, because it was blazing hot. And I'm from Florida, so I was like a local that was just like background, whatever.
Right.
And all these like LA dancers showed up, and I knew some of them because the dance world is like very small. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to like catch up with some people, and some people who've like blown up since. And seeing Kelly Clarkson up close was like really cool. But it was a lot, and there were a lot of different weird background actors who were like, you could tell they were like, this is my break. I'm going to be famous from this movie. And then everyone was just talking about how Justin and Kelly must be like dating secretly and not telling anyone. And I was like, there's no fucking way that's a thing. And watching Kelly Clarkson, who is a very talented singer, not a trained dancer, try to do these very I'm sorry, I have COVID. I'm stupid.
Intricate
dance moves. It was adorable to watch. You know, Justin was pretty good actually, but they kept having to reset. You know, because she was like, "Oh, what's the And I remember it was like '03, and like the Britney Spears like long ass sleeve things were in, so she was like, she looked like a little dancing fairy. She was really sweet. I actually, on the set of that movie, this is a funny story. Do you know what Bang Bros is?
Yeah, I know what Bang Bros is. I'm a adult red-blooded American male. I've seen some Bang
For
Bros
those
videos.
who don't know, these dudes drive around in a van, I think mostly Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, and pick up chicks and fuck them in the van and film it. But like they're actors, obviously. And for some reason, my older brother showed me Bang Bros, like an episode. And I remember it was like a Latino dude with a ponytail and a huge member. I don't know if it's PG-13 podcast.
No, we can say, we can call it a dong. You can call it whatever you want. We're R-rated, baby.
Wiener.
His wiener.
His wiener. So anyway,
he had a real. He was packing a ballpark Dodger dog. A full thing.
And it's not like I was. Just to be clear, I wasn't like watching porn with my brother. We weren't like, we're not French or from Kansas, you know. But he just was like, "Can you believe this?" And I was just like, "This is fake." And he was like, "Obviously, but like, don't you know that place? Don't you know that place?" It was just like weird because it was close to home. Anyway, I'm on the set of From Justin and Kelly, and I'm a crafty, and I'm eating like oranges or something because when you're a dancer, that's all you're allowed to eat. And this guy comes up and starts trying to holler, and immediately I'm like, I know this guy's face. Why do I know this guy's face? And I didn't think anything of it. And then he took his shirt off, and I recognized like a tattoo. And I remember thinking, when I watched Bang Bros, what an interesting tattoo that was. So when he came up to me again, I just was like straight up. I was like, "Yo, were you in an episode of Bang Bros?" He put his drink down. It was like a water or something. Grabbed his stuff and left. And he did not come back to set. He did not finish filming.
He was trying to make a break into legitimate acting. He was trying to Sasha Grey it.
And I was like, "You're done in this town, kid. Everyone knows what you did."
You're never working in Fort Lauderdale or Miami area ever again. Get out of Dade County.
Poor guy.
Wow.
I was sad because I wanted to ask him about it. I wanted to be like, are you guys nice to each other? Did she audition? Or how do you get into that?
I mean, end of day, it probably is better if a guy who's been in a bunch of Bang Bros, Bang Bus videos is not showing up in a PG musical. You never know, right? You don't want to see his dick flopping around and the little swim shorts that he's going to be wearing for these dance sequences. Who knows?
Is it PG-13 if it's not nudity, but it's dripping with resentment that's palpable from the actors?
Yeah.
Does that make it a PG-13?
I think so.
For sure.
Resentment and whipped cream is a lot of what's dripping around in this movie. So, so this movie is, it's what I started watching it, and by the way, this is the first movie ever that I've had to purchase and physically like buy a copy of to watch this movie for the show.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's a tax write-off. It's research. It's all good in the end. But that's how few people want to actually see this movie anymore. Like I did Summer Catch a little while ago, and at least I could still find a sort of illegal quote unquote copy of Summer Catch. Check out my VPN if you want to figure out how to find torrents.
Stay safe out there, kids.
Stay safe. Use your VPNs properly. But I could not get a copy of From Justin to Kelly, and I didn't know anything about it other than Justin and Kelly were in it, and I hadn't seen a trailer for it, and I started watching it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like a fun musical, sort of like it's got like some beach blanket bingo kind of vibes, like they're trying to do a throwback sort of thing, and it just starts to get worse and worse and worse as time goes on in a way that like did you rewatch it before, or are you just letting the memory that's seared in your brain stick there?
I did not rewatch it. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
You can't.
You can't. I get it. You're too close to it. You got it still stuck in there. I watched it. I do think together, let's watch the trailer for it, which mercifully is only 30 seconds long. Because they even knew when they were trying to show off to try and get people to watch this.
This summer,
Come with us to Miami. It's not my scene.
music will bring two strangers together,
Hey, they go from the beach.
and nothing can come between them
I'm gonna ask her out again.
except all their friends.
So what does a girl need to do to get you?
There are a million hot girls here, and you're still talking about the one girl who blew you off.
Kelly Clarkson,
I should take a chance.
Justin Guarini,
This song is special.
in the musical event of the summer. From Justin to Kelly.
That's it.
Wow.
Quick. We're in, we're out. We know exactly what's going to happen in this movie, plot-wise.
Took me back.
Justin and Kelly are going to try and get together, but their friends are going to keep them apart.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't know is how bad it's going to get on that road.
So bad. In
What we
every
don't-
way.
What we don't know is that there's not going to be any chemistry between any of the friends, and that they clearly don't like each other. What we don't know is the dynamics
Accurate.
of these friendships, which is Kelly is like a virginal waitress at a country bar in Texas, who's got like a weird slutty friend and a token black friend, because this is what you have to
Of course.
have, of course.
Yeah.
The guy Justin has a very nerdy guy who knows about the internet and chat rooms, and a real horn dog friend too, who's like, we're gonna make whipped cream contests, and he keeps hitting on this cop, this hot lady cop who keeps thwarting all his plans. And
There's a lot of hot lady cops in Miami.
yeah,
Okay.
I buy it. They show up in all the other Bang Bus videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This movie is them on spring break, hanging out, having a good time. Oh, and don't forget, there's the Cuban busboy who shows the on a totally like no need to have this side plot in there other than just to pad out the running time of the movie, which also doesn't even come to an hour and a half. Thank God, it's 81 minutes. 81 minutes of glory, of just a blaze of glory flaming out right in front of our faces. The Cuban busboy who takes Annika Noni Rose's character to go have a dance night, at some sort of like a secret Latin club in a shipping container or something. But it detracts
Those
from.
exist, by the way.
I buy it. I would love to
Yeah.
go hang out at one of those places. It looked very cool. It looked like they did their research on that end.
I feel like that was a reciprocal move. Like they wanted to film somewhere, and the owner was like, "Listen, like my nephew, he wants to like be a dancer, so you got to do a scene where he like takes this girl to like this nightclub, and they dance, and like, are you listening? Are you listening? Like that's how it's. Everybody talks like that down there, whether they're Cuban or not. Everybody has that accent. From Hialeah, I'm from Miami. I don't speak Spanish. I just talk like this, you know. Anyways, that's my
This is
that's my conjecture.
That's a good conjecture to go on. This movie, of course, though, I mean, all the friends aside and all their wacky antics and shenanigans, at the heart of the movie, it's all about Justin and Kelly and their white, hot, romantic encounters.
How many times can you say white?
A lot. This movie is just screaming white people trying to understand different cultures. That's all this movie is. And it's like, do we have they kind of brought it up in the very beginning of the movie, or in the trailer rather, but the very beginning of their courtship happens while they're having a dance sequence on a beach, which is also my girlfriend was watching this with me on the couch because she was like very excited that I was being forced to watch From Justin to Kelly for the show. And I turned to her when they did this opening dance sequence on the beach. And I was like, is this a fucking musical? And she was like, yeah. She was very excited. So they have their courtship and they're doing these dances and this like weird sexy dance, even though Justin and Kelly, I don't think have ever touched anyone of the opposite sex in any sort of sexual context at all.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not. They both have big virgin energy. They don't know how to handle anybody.
A lot of
And-
Jesus right between the two of them.
For sure. Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
have the room for Jesus, just like back
Social
in,
distance and Jesus distance.
very similar.
Save room for Jesus. Yeah.
See, that's the real. Why don't we have? You know how they have these back in the day. I don't know what the religious messaging in public schools were like in Florida. I know for me in Texas, we did have a lot of references to Room for Jesus at school dances, even though it was public schools. Why don't we have a cartoon that some Christian company's putting out now where it's just social distancing, you leave room for Jesus, and you have Jesus doing a full-on like body press where he's stretched out. I bet Jesus is 6 feet tall.
You know why there aren't adverts for that? Because Jews run the media.
That's, you know what, very true. Shout
And
out
I'm
to
from
the Jews
Parkland, Florida, which
who are
is
keeping
like
the studio
98% Jewish. Yeah, we're all Jewish down there. So no, I didn't have any Jesus talk in my school because most of us were Jewish.
Did you hear, by the way, that there's these preachers who are still going on and having these they're having church services despite state orders now that are saying that they need to have COVID lockdowns, and people getting arrested for it. It's fucking crazy.
It's the best. It's such like a beautiful depiction of what Christianity represents, because obviously this older person is saying, I need to make money. I need to keep my business moving. I don't know how to use this dang internet thing. So almost, you know what? God done told me that they need to come. I don't know why they're Southern. This is like a thing I'm doing. God done told me they need to come here, gather together, because it's strength in numbers. If you read John 3:1, episode 4, I don't know how to the Bible. The one where Joey isn't Jewish.
The one with the fish and the loaves.
The one where they gathered despite the coronavirus pandemic.
That's my favorite part of
what they do.
Of every Bible reading is where Jim mugs to the camera and just looks. Oh, Jesus at it again with his wacky walking on water.
Someone needs to do that. That's funny.
Actually, wait, have you seen this? Actually, this is totally not related to from Justin and Kelly at all, but I do want to have a public record of showing this clip on the show. This seems like the perfect chance to. Have you seen the clip of the televangelists basically trying to cure COVID by yelling at it?
No, show me.
Okay. If you search, it's two guys. They're both old dudes in suits. One's got a blue tie, one's got a red tie. The Anthony and Gage, bless them. They look like they know exactly what I'm talking about here. This is what we're up against the COVID crisis. This is the kind of preachers that I think Justin and Kelly were both in character watching. And if this had happened, they would have been told to go on spring break, and they would have still had in modern times, they would have had a COVID spring break movie. God, that would have been, that's a fun genre movie. Why is nobody writing that? Okay.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, we got to go a little further. There should be, it's them talking together. And there's this part where they're both yelling at, they're standing up. I've seen that's
they're trying
the
to
one.
Exercise it?
Yes.
Someone's body?
They're basically trying to exercise it. Okay.
Thank you, Jesus. Standing in the office of the prophet of God, I execute judgment on you, COVID-19. I execute judgment on you, Satan, you destroyer, you killer. You get out. We break your power. You get off this nation. I demand judgment on you. I demand a vaccination to come immediately.
Yes.
They're not standing 6 feet apart from each other. They're not properly social distancing.
Done.
I don't support this.
I call you gone. You come down from your place of authority, destroyer. You come down and you crawl on your belly like God commanded you when he put his foot on your head in the Garden of Eden.
A snake.
You will destroy through COVID-19. No more.
No more. No more.
No more.
No more.
Is finished.
Finished.
It is over. And the United States of America is healed and well.
There we go.
Again, saith the.
You can go outside again, Adrienne. You can go. You're cured
Oh my
now.
God. My COVID's gone.
Do you feel the chest pain subsiding now?
I could take a deep breath. I'll try it later. But yeah, I'm healed.
So we have Justin and Kelly. They keep meeting and they keep fighting back and forth. Of their friends are trying to keep them apart, and they meet in a bathroom. And Kelly gives her number to Justin, and he loses it in a puddle because he's wacky. And so they spend this whole movie trying to get together. And they end singing on a dock or something like that. It's the whole movie's. We know the plot of the movie. It's from Justin to Kelly. They get together through the power of song and love and dance, as any good spring break musical should do. Now,
well, it was Jesus' spirit moving from Justin to
Kelly. Mm-hmm.
Through marital consensual sex.
Right. And that's why that's why this movie is rated PG. So that way you can take your church group to it safely and say, now this is a chaste young couple. They may be dancing with each other in a way that's unbecoming of the Lord, but you can find it in your heart. And you can go from Jesus to the Holy Spirit.
To Justin, to Kelly.
To Justin, to Kelly. Now, there's, of course, you are blessed to be in the situation that I'm not in, which is having been in from Justin to Kelly. I want to ask what your ultimate, like, after you left the set, after you guys wrapped shooting, what was your feeling like? Like, did you know that you were going to be in a bad movie? Did you know that this movie was going to be as critically lambasted as it was?
Yes. I knew it was bad.
How did you know?
I was
What
only
was the signs?
Like, the big dance scene was fun, but not like, Dirty Dancing. It was so engaging, and it was like the moment where they were like, we're gonna fucking be public about this shit, even though I'm 20 years older than you.
Right.
And like, it was just like hot, This was just kind of like, it just looks like two people struggling to have on-screen chemistry when one of them is gay and one of them is a virgin. And it was like very apparent. And the dancers were pretty nice to each other, but for the most part annoyed and didn't want to be there, and hot, and everyone was hot, and all the background actors were like, I'm getting paid for this, but this fucking blows. And
right.
It was just like not a good vibe all around, I would say.
I can imagine. It just seems like it was one of those things that felt very rushed and put together, and everybody who was involved in the background of the movie too, like Kim Fuller, who is the brother of the guy who created American Idol, Simon Fuller, also is the person who wrote Spice World. Doesn't seem like the best dude. Robert Iscove, the director of this movie, he directed She's All That, and he directed some other stuff, but From Justin to Kelly basically ended his career. And even Kelly Clarkson is very publicly on record at the end of after her career of having gone on to let this little patch of her career sit in the garbage where it belongs, and having blossomed into becoming a successful singer and a television host. She's very, very publicly against this movie, and there's a lot of interviews. We had a fun little interview clip that we have pulled. We're gonna go ahead and pop that on.
Okay.
Of Kelly talking about her own experience.
I'm excited.
You won Idol. What do you remember the most?
I didn't want to win because I knew that you had to make that movie, and I thought, well, the runner-up, because at that point, nobody knew the winner was gonna, nobody knew anything was gonna happen. Even myself and just all of us, we were like, this could have been just like a cool camp thing.
Too. If you hadn't won, wouldn't you still have been in the movie? They just would have reversed the title.
No, he chose to. He wanted to. Yeah, but he likes acting. He likes doing that kind of stuff. That's not. I mean, I like musical theater, but I have never wanted to be an actress in any sense of the word. So, and literally the only things you've seen me act in is just because I want to be around the people that I'm working with. Like, and I suffer for it, and I like vomit because I get so nervous. Like it's not my forte. I'm aware. So I didn't want to do that, and really the winner contractually was obligated to do it. So
she's got so much more.
I didn't want to
life
win, and
to
we
her
didn't
in this
know,
interview.
You know what would happen
Because she
afterwards.
just
So I
gets to
thought,
be herself.
shut her up.
Sex.
We're all on the finale. We
Yeah,
made it the same amount of
that's it.
shows. Like, I probably have just as good a chance as making it and having a manager see me or like me or record deal. So, I didn't, both of us were kind of like, it doesn't really matter who wins. But he really wanted to do the movie and I didn't. So that's why when you see my face on camera go, like, there's this whole look of like, okay. I got to do this damn movie.
Oh, can we find that?
I was stressed.
I didn't even know that
I
was a
cried
thing.
in a closet in my apartment for hours trying to get out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Oh my God. I would love to see that.
She didn't want to dance. She didn't want to
She
learn the
didn't-
moves. She was hot, and she was hot and sweaty and had to be super nice in front of 300 people, like for multiple days in a row, because if you're a bitch one time, they put you on the internet and they call you, so she had to be nice to fans who were bothering her. And like, I could see the sweat dripping down her back and pooling. And then they had to keep like toweling her off. Like, Florida's hot, yo.
What time of year did they film this during spring break?
God, I was 19. I don't remember what time of year it was. It was hot, so it could have been any time in
It could have
Florida.
been any time in the year. Hot and
Wait,
humid.
I had red hair, and I was 19, and I hadn't cut all my hair off yet. So it was before March.
Okay. That hot February weather.
Yeah, it's hot in February. It's hot there now.
Yeah, I believe it. Hot and sweaty and gross. Now, while we see if we can find this other clip, I would like to ask, you're from the expert, from somebody who knows what Florida life is like when spring break and having sex. You know what all these things are like. What could we have done to change this movie and make it something palatable and watchable? Is the answer as simple as let the Bang Bus guy fuck all of the people who are the stars of the movie, or is there something deeper to it?
I think the bitchy friend should have gotten scooped by a Bang Bus. Is it Bang Bus?
Well, Bang Bros is the company. They make Bang Bus.
Yes. Just like Monkey Farts makes Blacks on Blondes or something, right?
Right. Dog fart.
Dog fart mania. Why do I know that? I don't know that. So who said that? I didn't.
What?
What?
Like
Gross.
Naughty America makes my dad's ex-wife or something like that. What? Wait a minute. That's my mom. Oh, no. Wait a minute, that's my mom. Oh no, my favorite porn series, by the way. You guys can check that one out.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. For serious. So Florida, to make it more accurate and more interesting, definitely she needed to get picked up. Justin and Kelly meeting in a bathroom, somebody needed to have been doing lines in there, for sure.
Yep.
If you go to Florida, a Cuban will ask you if you party. And that's what they mean. They mean cocaine.
Okay.
More accurate would have been more sweat, and that's more entertaining to watch. Just where it pools on people, like it's an interesting phenomena, where people sweat on their bodies, and way more drinking needed to have been done. And Kelly definitely would have gotten into a bitch fight with somebody over how much she wore jeans in the heat in summer.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing, Kelly?
Kelly,
poor Kelly. Because that's the other thing too, is the bitchy friend is like trying to be, she's sort of existing in two worlds too, where she's the only one who you actually really see drink on camera. Nobody else is drinking like the whole time.
She's a bad girl.
She's a bad girl.
Yep,
she fucks. She clearly is fantasizing about getting plowed by a bunch of dudes in that one dance sequence where she's having a time of her life in a bar. And then she tries to sort of like seduce Justin, but also tell him to not hook up with Kelly. It's weird. She should, if this movie was rated at the very minimum PG-13 or R, if I would love the R-rated cut of From Justin to Kelly, wildly watchable.
Oh, hell yeah. Where the dancers are all just like fucking each other, and Justin and Kelly like decide they don't want to like be together, but they want to watch each other have sex. Swingers clubs. Deanie's Hideaway in Deerfield Beach is a swingers club right near Fort Lauderdale Beach. That's something that a lot of Floridians do. Like a lot of Floridians. They swing. And you can go bring your partner round and round, and then you guys do-si-do with other people.
Fancy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, and they definitely would have gotten like Monte Cristo sandwiches or something, like Cuban sandwiches, and they would have encountered a Cuban who wasn't a busboy, because they would have encountered like business owners and things like that. You know, it was very trope, and I think
Right.
is very like, how do we extrapolate an archetype and plug someone in and make this the most boring fucking thing you've ever seen in your life? But
Right.
I guess invariably Christian people had to sign off on it. So, and they like their tropes, you know?
Yep. You got to make it palatable for everybody. If everybody could watch American Idol, then why can't everybody should be able to watch From Justin to Kelly too? Even though nobody wanted to watch From Justin to Kelly, even though From Justin to Kelly is a cinematic abomination.
It is. I hardly wanted to watch it. I fast forwarded through to the scenes where I was in. You can see me. I'm in the back, little red bikini, and I had like shoulder length red hair, and I'm jamming out, and my body was banging.
Were you in the because they did the resort dance sequence? Were you in one of those? Who knows?
I can't remember.
I'm not gonna try and
Definitely the pool scene. I totally remember the pool scene, mostly because of Mike from Bang Bus being outed there.
Shout out to Mike, the real hero of this movie.
Big time.
I would say, now that we're talking about like if you want to watch the R-rated cut of From Justin to Kelly, I brought this movie up on the show before, but I would suggest that if you do want to see a good spring break movie that shows the dark side of spring break, Spring Breakers classic.
Exact opposite of that movie. Yes, that would be a great example of actual Florida. That's yep.
Yeah. Or even The Beach Bum, I think, is a fun time too.
Sure. Or more recent, more relevant, you could watch Contagion or Outbreak, because that's what it's like in Florida right now.
Yeah, that is exactly what it's like in Florida. I mean, that's what it's like everywhere right now. I'm deliberately...
There are cruise ships right now docking in Florida with people getting off and coming to do Florida spring break while they're supposed to be stuck at home right now, getting off cruise ships.
There's all these, I know there's these stories that keep popping up about like students in Florida and Texas. The one that I saw this morning was a plane, like a private chartered plane of 40 spring breakers from UT Austin came back from Mexico, and all of them just tested positive for COVID.
Yep.
So it's like we're all fucked. So, I mean, if you want to watch what it's actually like right now, Contagion and Outbreaks for you, and if you want to watch an idealized fun version, Beach Bum. Man, Adrienne.
Yeah.
We've gone on a journey today, and I'm glad. I'm glad to have you on finally. I'm glad to hear about your stories, and I'm so sorry that you had to be a part of this movie.
Yeah, me too, dude.
And I hope that you laughing at these memories helps clear your chest out a little bit. I mean, you're cured now. Don't worry. Our televangelist friend, you're set.
I'm going to watch that whole thing. The red tie and the blue tie, it's like the red pill or the blue pill. And like, it doesn't matter which one you take, they're going to pull you in the rectory and try to fuck you. So it's like, why are they even bothering with different colors? But I'm going to watch that whole thing and try to get exercised from the COVID. And I appreciate you showing me that.
I'm just trying to help you out. I'm here for you, Adrienne. You're a friend. You're wonderful. If the listeners want to find you on social media, which you're a must follow, very funny stuff. Where can they find your stuff?
I'm Craydrienne everywhere. CRAYDRIENNE.
Awesome. And if you want to find me, it's at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, right now, subscribe to the Patreon. Need the help more than ever, given that everybody's unemployed. And we're doing the quarantine special. If you subscribe to any tier during these quarantine episode recordings, you will get a shout out at the beginning of every episode. So let's get in there. The link for all of this will be in the show notes. So check down there, folks. Adrienne, you're a delight.
Jay.
You're a pleasure. I'm glad we finally knocked this one out.
Me too.
Thanks for doing it.
Be well, be safe.
You too. Stay, heal up. I'll see you soon. This has been Blockbusting, everybody. Go see something good for a change.